Hi, I'm Jeff Leedy, the window expert. Today we're going to talk about how much do windows really cost. First things first, you should probably, before you buy windows, explore a couple of the other videos I've made. I'll put a couple down in the description here that are really going to help you when it comes to understanding what you need to know before you buy windows. But on that journey to buying windows, eventually you're going to come across the question, how much should windows cost? How do I know, Jeff, if this proposal I got is a fair price? And that's what we're going to try to answer today. I'm going to even give you some ballpark numbers, real numbers, okay? So that you can kind of compare what you saw from your local window company to some of the ideas of what I'm talking about today. Now, before we go further, I do want to mention that if you're in Houston or DFW or Texas, right, like that's where we are. I'm the founder of Houston Window Experts, the window experts. And we can help you if you live in our area. Now, if you don't live in our area, and I get a lot of people asking, Jeff, do you know anybody in my area? I actually got tired of that question. So I've created a website called jeffslist.com. So what you can do is call one of those dealers as well in your area so you can compare prices between what my buddy would have to price it at and what you're getting from someone else to make sure you're being treated fairly. Now, I'm standing here with a bunch of different windows, and we're going to do a little bit of walking and talking today. But when I answer the question, how much do windows cost, I want you to consider a few things. Not all windows are built the same. Now I'm standing here in front of some vinyl windows, and I want to show you this vinyl window here. This is a really nice vinyl window. This is what we call an ultra premium vinyl window. So think about this. You have about 4 grades of window quality. Just like there are 4 different qualities of TVs and 4 different qualities of fabric and sheets and bath towels and qualities of leather and qualities of car. It's the same with windows. Just because a window looks like another window does not mean it's the same quality. So here's what they are. You've got your builder grade quality, and those are usually designed to last a minimum of 1 year, as much as 5 years, because the builder usually gives you about a 1-year warranty on your house. The second tier is what we call big box windows, and those are the kind you're going to buy like at Home Depot and Lowe's. And there's some pretty good ones in there as well. The third one is what we call premium windows. And then of course you have your ultra premium windows. And what is the difference between a premium and an ultra premium? It can be options, it could be glass packages, but a lot of times it has to do with the quality of the titanium dioxide, how much titanium dioxide is invested into that window. It's a very expensive ingredient, and it really does help the window look better and last longer in especially, difficult, tortuous conditions like we have down in Houston, a lot of heat. So this is a nice vinyl window, and this is a nice vinyl window. But here's the difference. If you notice this window here, okay, does not operate, where this one is a casement window. This window cranks out. This one is going to cost more than this one just because of the mechanical work it takes and the function that it takes to make this window operate compared to this window. Also, I want you to see how this window has these grids on top. These grids are on the surface, and so they look really realistic. Here's another example. Here's a window that has the grids on the surface. See how nice and realistic that looks? Compare it to this window that has the grids between the glass, okay? Now this is nice for cleaning the glass because you can clean the whole window at once, whereas here, sometimes your paper towel gets snagged on there. But this one looks more realistic than that one does. And so for the production line to make this window is going to be faster to make than this window because these grids that are on the surface are actually hand cut and hand applied in most cases to the surface of the glass. Because this window looked like that one originally, and then this was laid over the top of it. When you get to a window that's this size, this is going to be using, if it's a premium, ultra premium window, it's going to be using 1/8-inch glass, okay? But when you get to a really big window, follow me, you can see how this window is bigger, right? This is a fixed window. It's a much bigger sheet of glass. Well, because of that, because glass we know can flex, they had to go to a 3/16-inch thick glass on this compared to 1/8 inch. So what does that mean? Well, that means it's going to cost more because there's more glass here, right? So sometimes the size of the window can also determine what it's going to cost for you to make that window. Look behind you. Now we're talking about a door. Look at this sheet of glass here. This is a 4-foot wide by 8-foot tall sheet of glass. This is going to be 1/4-inch glass, okay, compared to 3/16, compared to 1/8-inch glass because of its size. And because it's a door, it's going to be tempered glass. meaning that when it breaks, it shatters into small, little harmless shards of glass instead of great big edges of glass that could cut someone and get them hurt, because that's required on doors. So you're going to pay more for a tempered piece of glass. There's a lot more process involved with tempered glass than there is with what we call annealed glass or non-tempered glass. So you're going to see some differences there. Now let me show you this. A round window is going to cost more to make. You see where I'm going? Look at this shape. This is going to cost more to make. This has got 4 sides to it, just like that other window I showed you, but because of the cuts, because of the angle, these are specialties. They call them specialties, special windows. Over here, you can see that this is a double unit. So if you had 2 windows side by side, now you're actually buying 2 windows that have been put together. I think you see where I'm going with that. So vinyl windows like this, ultra premium vinyl windows, you say, Jeff, how much do they cost? Well, an ultra premium vinyl window in a standard size, I say standard, maybe like the ones back there, right? Those are 30 inches wide by 55 inches tall. You're going to spend somewhere around $1,500 for a really good window. And if you get a lesser quality window, you might get one for around $1,000. But I'd be really surprised if you can find windows under $1,000 if you're talking about someone who's going to come out and replace your windows for a vinyl window. I want to show you something else. This window is not vinyl. This window, now you're stepping up here, I'm going from one extreme nearly to the other. This is a composite window. This is made by Infinity from Marvin, and this window is made out of fiberglass. Now fiberglass is 8 times stronger than the cheap grade vinyl, the one I told you about. 8 times stronger than vinyl. It's more efficient, it's more energy efficient. It does a better job of keeping your house quiet and clean, and the dust and the dirt from coming in, and the pollen and all those other things that are associated with leaky windows. And this window is going to hold up even better than an ultra premium vinyl window in a long haul because of the materials that it's made out of. And so it is more costly, listen to that word, I didn't say expensive. This is a more costly window than that would be because it costs more to make. If you're going to spend at least around $1,500 for a standard size window there, you're going to spend close to $3,000, $2,500 to $3,000 for the same thing on a really high quality fiberglass or composite window. Now there are some composite windows out there. One in particular I've done some reviews on is called Andersen. Renewal by Andersen makes a product that's similar to the Andersen product that you could just buy at a lumber yard or somewhere else. It is different. It is a higher grade product. It has more options, et cetera, but the batter that they make the stuff with is the same. It's called Fibrex, okay? It's made out of wood shavings, and it's also made out of some vinyl and some other ingredients. Some of it's top secret for them. But that product, I think, in my opinion, because I had them out to my house, it's way overpriced, right? If you had those guys come out to your house, and you'll know it, right? Because they won't leave for 4 hours, and they twist your arm. It feels like you're in a timeshare sales presentation sometimes. That's the kind of stuff you should be scared of. You should be wary of. So here's Marvin. Now we're talking about a wood window. Now, not a lot of people buy wood windows anymore because you can get stuff like the Infinity, which has what's called Everwood on the inside. It looks like wood, but it performs like fiberglass composites. But this is still very popular, and this has an aluminum exterior with a real wood interior. This is actually a wood window. If you remember back in the day, we used to have wood windows, right? Well, wood windows rot, so now they make wood with an aluminum exterior. Got some good videos about this you should check out as well. But something like this is going to be even more expensive than that because there's so much craftsmanship and so much handwork that goes into making a window like this. You can expect, okay, to spend somewhere around $4,000 for a window like this because of its quality and because it's more costly to make. So, you look at this and you say, wow, Jeff, windows are expensive. No, windows are costly. You think about all the other decisions you've made in life where you spend a little more money, maybe even more than you wanted to, but it's because you wanted that quality or you wanted what came with it. And that can be the same with windows. Now, I'm talking about the price of the window. Don't forget, there's going to be installation, and installation can vary because if I put this window in on the ground floor, it's going to be faster, and because time is money, and I can do it easier than if I put it on the third story of a stucco house, right? Because I have a lot of climbing and going up and down ladders. It's slower, it takes more time, so you're going to have to weigh that. And by the way, when it comes to labor, the installation, my opinion, it's the most critical component to buying a window, because if it's not done right, your window's going to probably leak, and you may not even know it's leaking. And you could get, moisture and mold and rot, and that would not be a pretty picture. Don't forget this. Skilled labor is rarely cheap, and cheap labor is rarely skilled. So don't forget, you get what you pay for when it comes to that. Now, as a general rule of thumb, here's what I found in most parts of the US. Now, this may not pertain to you if you live in Manhattan. It may not pertain to you if you live in Beverly Hills. But in most parts of the country, as a rule of thumb, if you're going to buy a really high quality vinyl window, it's going to cost you somewhere around 8%, maybe as much as 10% of the value of your home. So I'm going to use an easy example. If you have and just because the math's easy, if you have $1 million house, you might spend $75,000 to $100,000 on a really high quality premium vinyl window, and about $100,000 to $125,000, somewhere around 10 to 12 to 13%. On something like the Infinity from Marvin or equivalents. And then with something like this, you could be spending as much as 15%, maybe even more of the total value of your house. So let me qualify that too. If you've got 30 windows in a $30,000 house, obviously it's more than 10% of the value of your house, right? Like, it's not just that. And by the way, some people's house is worth more because of where they're located, right? Not because of the size or how many windows they have. But I'm hoping that I can give you a rule of thumb that says if you're talking to somebody about windows and you have $1 million house and they show you an $80,000 proposal and they're a high quality company with a high quality vinyl window, that's probably a fair price. But if you want to know for sure, get a free estimate. That's why companies offer free estimates. Now be careful if they call you, you call them and you say, hey, I'd like an estimate, and they say, will all decision makers be present? There's a good chance that they want you and your spouse or the other decision maker to be there so they can twist your arm a little bit, right? Because what happens if you talk to a window salesman and your spouse isn't there? You can always say, well, let me talk to my spouse about that and get back to you. And they don't want that. They want you guys to make a decision tonight. And I don't do that. In fact, I made a video about that. It's called Sleazy Salesman. Check that one out. That'll help you not get burned by people like that. Has this been helpful? I hope so. Listen, these numbers can change from time to time. I made a video like this 3 years ago, and people were commenting about how it was off, and it was off. It wasn't at the time, but it is today, and that's why I'm remaking this video. But as things change, you can expect some updates from me, because what we want, and we believe, is that being fully transparent, giving people a fair product at a fair price, and giving them quality and good customer service is how companies like ours grow and continue to grow. And by the way, we are a growing company. We get bigger and better every year because we're doing things right. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Oh, if you're looking for a great window company, don't forget, check out my website, jeffslist.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you again real soon.